I thank the gentleman. I recognize the gentleman from Florida, Georgia, excuse me. Georgia, Mr. Allen.
Yeah, we were in Florida last week. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this important hearing today. And before I ask questions, I'd like to briefly touch on school choice. Of course, we hear the same old talking points from the other side. We've got to turn education in this country around, and it's going to take some bold, strong efforts to do that. Innovation is where it's at. Somehow we've got to motivate students too. I mean, obviously, in this indoctrination of children is ridiculous. I mean, it's reading, writing, and arithmetic. It worked real well for a long time. A child's future success is often determined early in life, and in part of that quality is their K through 12 education. Parents and children should have the chance to choose an education path that is right for them. That's why I'm so excited to hear the current administration speaking so forcibly in favor of school choice. It's an 80% issue with parents in this country. With that being said, Mr. Taylor, with rising student loan debt and many young people reconsidering the value of a traditional college degree, there's a growing need for businesses to prioritize skills-based hiring over degree requirements. Last year, the CEOs of Walmart and the Home Depot co-authored an op-ed, "Not Everyone Needs a College Degree," highlighting the importance of this shift across industries. SHRM has been actively encouraging its members to adopt skills-based hiring practices. From your perspective, are more businesses embracing this approach, and what additional steps can be taken to accelerate this shift at the national level?
The answer is yes, and for the last 4 or 5 years, if you weren't following it, we have experienced a turnover to tsunami, as they call it, as well as the Great Resignation. We employers need talent. In a knowledge-based economy, you lose if you don't have the best talent. The best talent doesn't necessarily, and I want to be clear because we're not anti-college and university degree attainment, but the best talent shows up in different ways with skilled credentials. Ultimately, what we want is people who can do the work. Whether or not they have a degree and whether or not that degree is from a fancy school, employers are committed to allowing. Listen, we've got to fill these jobs, and we're filling the jobs because we have too many people who are underskilled. Our job is to eliminate, and I represent the world's largest association of HR professionals. We've got to get back to finding out, do you have the skills to do the job, not necessarily the paper that says you have the skills to do the job.
Yeah. Well, let it be said that Bill Gates dropped out of college because he happened to know more than the people that were teaching him. Mr. Taylor, while we all understand the value of a four-year degree, it's becoming clear that we need to shift the narrative around career pathways. Prior to my tenure in Congress, I owned a construction company in Georgia. So I understand firsthand the importance of having a trained workforce. Currently, there are over 400,000 open jobs in construction, and 40% of the construction workforce is set to retire in the next decade. Congress has taken an important step in supporting individuals pursuing skilled trade careers by championing the bipartisan Workforce Pell Act, which would expand Pell Grant eligibility for short-term training programs. However, with critical labor shortages, additional action is needed. Mr. Taylor, beyond this legislation, what more can Congress do to expand access to skilled trades in education, both in high schools and through workforce training programs, to build a strong talent pipeline? In other words, there's some people that are motivated by other things,
right,
like skills.
Yes.
How do we tap into that?
Well, it starts in the K through 12 system. I remember going through school, and we recognized we'd have everyone stand up at the end of your 12th grade and say, "Who's going to college?" And the people who weren't going to college weren't recognized. We've got to start with letting people know it is okay not to go pursue formal education in the way that we've historically thought about, and that it's okay to go get and acquire skills and they be credentialed, and then ultimately a credential that says to an employer you can do the work. So the narrative must change early that you have not failed because you did not pursue college. That's number one. Secondly, and you've rightly pointed out, after the passage of the legislation, we've got to now talk about it a lot and encourage employers. While people will say they will hire someone without a degree, what all of SHRM's research says is if you put someone in front of you and that person doesn't have a degree but the other person has experience, we still have a bias toward people who have degrees, even for jobs that very clearly don't require degrees. So this is going to require a collective commitment by industry, HR professionals, and thanks to you, we have government backing to make jobs available for people who can do the jobs irrespective of the skills, the degree that they may or may not have.
Mr. Taylor, I'm out of time. I have 2 more questions that I want to submit to you, and I'd like to provide, if you would provide answers to those questions for the record.
We'll do
Thank
so
you.
immediately. Thank you.
And Mr. Chairman, I yield back.